So, hi everyone. So what we will have today is we will have our demo day. So the demo day is for the course we do. The course is called AI Engineering Buildcamp. So I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the course, but still since we are waiting for some people from the course who will do the demos, since we're still waiting for them to join, I want to quickly talk about the course. So this is a course where it's a course on Maven. So this is the course where we learn the basics of RAG, basics of AI engineering. So we create our agent, and there is a lot of focus on things like testing, evaluation, monitoring, and things like that. So this is the course. Since you registered for uh, this lightning lesson or for this demo, you probably know already about this course. So what we want to do today is we want to see what the grade is from cohort number 3, which finished a few weeks ago. So in this session, we want to see what they built. And they built a lot of amazing things. We will not see all the projects that was built during the course, but some of the course participants, they volunteered, or I asked them to volunteer. And so today we are going to see some of these demos. So, and I see Salma is already here, but I want to know, so I'll stop sharing my screen. I want to know if other presenters are also here. So Amar, Hannah, Leo, are you all here?
Yep.
Cool. So maybe I saw that Salma was first to join, so maybe we'll start with her. And yeah, um, Salma, yeah, please tell us just a few words about yourself and about then you can share your screen and talk about the project you built.
Yes, so I'm a data analyst, and I'll be actually quitting my job to be a full-time founder starting July 1st. And that's why I actually decided to take this course because I wanted to strengthen my abilities to actually build an AI-powered app. And we were considering multiple ideas. And basically, in this course, I tested one idea. And the funny thing is that I already, in a way, built the product and ran into a lot of issues. And it had such a complicated implementation. And actually, with Alex, now the solution is way, way simpler than where I started. And I think that's the added value of having actually someone who's a professional coaching you and kind of just pushing me to try out things. And I actually thought that I would have a even more tools and much more complicated ways to do it. But then in the end, so the solution is way simpler. And basically, the use case that I wanted to solve is to actually help university professors generate exams. Most university professors, they would prefer to actually focus on research and not grade exams or generate questions. So the idea, you upload your course slide deck and then you get questions, and the questions, they need to be grounded in the content. So there should be some quality checks for them to actually, in a way, accept it. And when I first actually demoed my vibe coded app to Alexei, I thought I need a RAG. I actually learned I didn't need a RAG. So this was actually one of the biggest aha moments. And then through evaluations and then the constant feedback also with the professor, yeah, the solution just got simpler and simpler. So I can quickly share my screen if should I show you? I can show you the user interface.
Yes.
Then okay. Um,
We don't really have a set agenda, Salma. You can present whatever you feel is worth
okay.
presenting,
Yeah.
and interface is a good idea, yes.
Okay, so that's the idea. You generate an exam from your own slides and from your material, and it's ready to export. And you can have kind of your history if you want to change it, and you can approve it or not approve it. So I'm gonna sign in using my user as if I were a professor. And this is linked to a Supabase app. so now I'm gonna kind of generate an exam as if I were a professor. I'm gonna choose upload my course PDF. So we tested the kind of, we can do it on multiple sessions. Now it's uploading. And then I can decide for this, let's say, human resource management course, how many actually questions do we want to generate? And this is also very kind of personalized for a business university course. And usually they like to have case studies and a theory question. And then another one that actually came through the iterations is to have an applied concept, which is actually much more meaningful for students instead of asking them to define a specific HR kind of concept. And we can kind of have more questions per case study. And I know that Alexei is in Berlin, so I'm going to say, please modify the questions so they appeal to a foreign business student in Berlin. So let's see if we have Berlin references. Now it's generating it. This can definitely be optimized, how much time it takes to actually get generated.
What is it doing right now?
So now it's actually generating the questions. So it's reading the PDFs and now it's generating. Should take a lot less time. And maybe in the meantime, well, okay, now we can start the review. We will not review everything, but we can kind of skip, kind of go through the questions. And the idea is that we want to generate questions that if you need to read the course to actually generate to actually be able to answer the question, and that's kind of a key thing that the judge should check. And now it's actually kind of working to check the quality of the question, which statement about knowledge work is correct. So it says actually this answer, and this is the reasoning, and the judge is, where it's actually saying make the distractors more plausible and course specific, so we can actually regenerate them and basically just apply what the judge kind of recommended. And this is actually one thing that needs improvement. I don't see a big difference between this question and the earlier one. So this is also another thing that needs to be worked on. But luckily, the judge said this is answerable without the course, so this we can actually reject it. So that's kind of one type of question. Another one, this is in a way a case study, and here it kind of personalized it too as for a student in Berlin. And basically the idea for the professor is to kind of approve or just edit it immediately or simply reject it. It's actually a bad question. And in the initial implementation, it was kind of the idea was that the app learns with the feedback that the professor gives. Then I learned through the along the way that this is actually not ideal because it kept on, because sometimes even the professor makes mistakes, and then we were having few shot examples that were actually wrong. And I think one thing that would be interesting to you is to kind of see the backend of this app. So the front end is this next.js implementation. Claude Code did everything. I have no idea about this section. And then the observability piece, it's actually handled through a Supabase app that actually any user action is actually immediately stored on Supabase. And that's how even the cost of the API calls, the size of the PDFs, the regeneration prompts, everything is saved here. If anyone has a question, please let me know. And basically the loop is you upload, you generate, and there's a judge, then you review, and then you can export your questions. And this was the thing, kind of the thing that actually needed a lot of work to make sure we initially generate good questions that are not duplicates as well. And then also this AI judge. In the initial implementations, the AI judge was actually super easy, very lenient. And that's kind of what we learned through the evaluation framework, that we kept on improving the prompt. And then we even kind of ran experiments using other GPT models without showing them the course. Would you actually answer it even without reading the course? That's kind of how kind of the prompts, the current prompt has been selected. And these are basically the quality checks that the judge goes through to actually clear a question, is it good or bad? Also, in the beginning, I was using Anthropic, and then I moved to GPT. It was actually way cheaper. And I think one of the biggest quality improvements was making sure that the few shot examples were actually good. So the few shot examples that are here, I ended up in a way writing isn't spending 2 hours making sure these are actually examples of exam questions, that I spent a lot of time on making sure they were good, because when kind of that self-improving loop was actually very destructive, because the LLM, this was also something I didn't know, that LLMs are not creative at all, and it was basically just rehashing the same piece of content. And this was actually one thing that really improved the quality. Yeah, that's kind of, so here you can see the generation in a way. Yeah, the generation steps, which is we need to kind of extract content from the PDF. And also if the PDF has images, then there's also an OCR that actually reads them. And then they're parsed, and then kind of GPT has some few shot examples that he actually reads all the time before generating questions. And then there's also this regenerate prompt. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyone has a question or?
This is really good. Like it's really, I like the project, but also the presentation, the way you presented it, like this HTML is really cool. Did you ask Claude to generate it?
Yes, yes. I also told him that I'm presenting it to kind of an staff AI engineer. So
Okay.
make sure you include all the kind of the, and in a way, this is actually the thing that was so eye-opening for me, is this LLM judge, and I think the last session we had, Alexei, when you told me you need to, the judge needs to kind of have a much better quality. That was actually super helpful. And in the end, kind of what I have now, it's a much simpler app than what I had in the beginning. So yeah.
Happy to hear it. Does anyone have questions to Salma? You can ask them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Can you share
Yes,
the?
yes, I have a question. Yes. Okay. This is Salim here. I'm talking to you from Kuwait in the Middle East. Yes. Are you a teacher yourself, or are you a teacher, educator? No.
I'm in a way, so I have a data background. However, this whole field of AI engineering, RAG, that's I'm learning, and in a way, learning by doing. So no, I'm not a teacher.
Okay. Okay. So in your approach, I didn't get to see your complete architecture document. Can you share your document? I will do.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a way, the architecture, so what the course program that Alexei has, it's pretty much an implementation of it for my use case. But yeah, happy to share it. Yes.
Yeah, because this is my field of expertise, Abby. So I'll
Okay.
be able to help you. This is why I'm asking you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can drop it here or you can send it to me. Yeah.
Okay, I need to, so still on my local
You
computer.
can just send it to me and then I'll
Yeah.
distribute it to
Yes.
everyone who signed
Yes.
up for this call.
Okay, good. Excellent.
I also see a question from Beth. Do you have customers already in mind? So we only did kind of 2 user interviews, and in one of them we got really dissuaded against the idea of actually offering this tool to professors because financially it's very hard for them to kind of ask for budgets, and universities are very bureaucratic. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why this project might not continue. But we're still very open and still in exploratory phase. So actually, the kind of starting July 1st, the idea I will be focusing on is actually a communication app, but it actually uses the same. So for me, you doing this exercise, even though we're pivoting, it's not a waste of time at all because there was a lot of learning on the journey.
And I think I saw that Ivan was raising his hand. Do you want to ask something?
Yeah, that was basically my question as well. But was who is the customer base for this? And the only other thought that I have is that I worked in education for a long time, and this sounds like something that'd be great for creating exit tickets for students who are leaving class. So it could be very useful for private schools, high schools, middle schools, those types of things. So so my only thought, what my question was, would you think about expanding out to international schools and making this for that audience as well?
Absolutely. So if you have contacts, happy to share my contacts and really absolutely. Yeah, we're very open. And I'm kind of being very also open about this initial challenge or conversation that we had that kind of made us think, okay, maybe not a good idea. But yeah, absolutely. And I think if this project manages to find paying customers, another thought that we had is actually right now I'm using a GBT model is actually to use open source models, especially with some entities having privacy issues. So I'll be also doing with Alexei the LLM Zoom camp, so in the 6 weeks sprint. And if this idea actually has traction, yeah, we're happy to continue on it. Ivan, did that answer your question?
It most certainly did, and I'm also in the Zoom camp,
Okay,
and yeah, and I'll shoot you a message on LinkedIn.
please do.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
please do. Yeah.
And we have a question from Francesca, but then after that we'll have to move on because we don't have a lot of time. So, hi, Francesca.
Hello. I have a question, but it's more towards the back end. Oh, by the way, super cool app. It's very professionally done, I feel like. So kudos to you or kudos to Anthropic, to Claude. Either way, super super well done. I have a question about the infrastructure. You use Supabase to host a Postgres database. And I just want to know, why did you choose Supabase and not just, I guess, like host Postgres um, on your own?
Yeah, this is a great question. And so in a way, I'm a data person. My biggest strength, I can look into the data. I have access to the professor, so I can do the user interview. I can make sure the few shot examples are good. This is actually how I thought. And then I'm taking the course with Alexei and I'm learning about track and also how to do in kind of implement a judge. So these are the things I need to focus my time on. Supabase, the nice thing about it is that you can, if you give the Supabase key to Claude and tell him, hey, please make sure any user interaction is saved, Claude will do that. And then I go on Supabase and check it's actually implemented. And if I tell him, hey, can you make the tables actually more user-friendly and that follow more better data engineering concepts, it immediately does that. So for me, it was really about ease, and it was also free. The only thing about Supabase is that if you don't use the app for kind of 2 weeks, they pause it, and then when you restart it, you need to unpause it, and that's it. So I think Supabase is a very kind of a low, super easy. And again, for me, so there were things that I outsourced to Claude. The front end, for example, I'm not a front end designer, but I do have some idea how should the UI look like. So that's kind of what I told him. But I didn't check anything about the front end code, no idea. And then I was trying to kind of think I'm learning something that's very new, and I have an AI engineer who has a lot of experience at my disposal. So I should actually focus on that area. So that's kind of what went to my head, and that's why I chose the Supabase. However, if this gets more users or more clients, then the infrastructure has to change.
Yeah, super cool. I would, and I mean, I have a lot to learn, and I learn from Alexi as well. So, like, if I were to do it, I would like host Postgres on my own. But it's really an interesting perspective to host it through Superbase. So then, when you work with Claude, that you're not giving it your entire data from your local computer. So, like, yeah, super cool.
I think I was muted, so I was going I started speaking. So thanks, Francesca. Thanks, Alma. So I think we should move on. And I think the next person I see on my screen, who is also going to demo, is Amar. So, hi, Amar. Now the floor is yours. Also, maybe you can tell us a few words about yourself and then show the demo.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Amar. I work as a data scientist for a logistic company. Currently, I'm working on, I work on I started doing Alexa's course with data engineering Zoom camp that ran in December, and then I knew about this one. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to do the LLM Zoom camp or just do the sprint, but I'll probably just do a sprint. But with anybody learning, like this is a great way to learn, and I'm also learning the importance of doing it in public, so like you're more accountable. And going forward, I see a lot of people you're doing LLM Zoom camp, try and make that like your priority to learn publicly. So other than that, I'm gonna show my demo here real quick. Let me share my screen. So this is my app. I have a Git. This is live on Streamline right now. So the biggest thing, what this does is we apply for a lot of jobs, especially in IT. There's like almost a new job application every single hour, it feels like, with the layoffs and stuff. But we don't actually know what went wrong with the application. So like there's job description, there's your resume and stuff like that. So what this tool does is like basically tells you on the basis of your job description and the CV that you're posting that what's missing or what can be improved. So that's what this tool does. So before I do like demo, let's see an example right here. So if I see an example, so the way it's going to use is like this is the example CV that was used. This is the example JD that was used. And then it's going to give you out of 100 how good your current resume is on the job description. And I'm just going to tell you what's the missing keywords, what are the improvement suggestions, what are the cover letter. You can download the cover letter and you can copy it. So I'm going to do a little quick demo here. see. Okay. So I have a plain Google search here for just data scientist jobs. I'm just going to look at this one, I think. And oops. Okay. Well, that one's closed. So let's try this one. Okay. So I'm going to take this link, take it here, paste it, and this from the URL. Okay. So it got the job description from here. I have an example data scientist resume here. I'm just going to use that one because I don't want to use anybody stuff here. And another thing that I have here is like this is privacy focused. So like no CV or no job description that anybody uses is ever stored, not even in the logs, which I'll take to you. We'll try also in a second. So let's analyze the CV. Okay. So it's analyzing the CV. And while it does that, I'll also show you how and what exactly is happening. So this is how the logs are recorded. So right now, the current run is ongoing. It's analyzing the CV, and we can see in Logfire. Now, everything here was learned in the Zoom camp, so there we go. So it's looking at, so I'm tracking every single token. Right now, it's extracting the job requirements. It says the same thing over there as well. That's interesting. So it says that it's still running. So maybe I just need to analyze it. But okay, still running. Hopefully that shows up. Usually that should be done in 30 seconds, but obviously this is the demo, so something has to go wrong. But while that happens, while that keeps on running, I'm going to show you how the actual app works. So the architecture for the app is pretty simple. So there's a user input. There's 4 tools in an agent that is extracts the job requirements, it scores the CV, suggests improvements, and it generates a cover letter. And there's the final summary. Other than that, let me see if this pulled up yet. It has not yet, which is so interesting. Oh, I see there's an exception. But hopefully that will pull up. The tech stack that I used to do this was Grok LLM and Grok's Llama. So Llama is a Facebook model that is given by Grok for free. The whole point of me using Grok was because it's free. We could probably use OpenAI and Claude and all that stuff. And then if for some reason the Grok's limits are completed for the day, then it automatically switches to Hugging Face with the same exact model and same exact parameters. It will tell you if it ever needs to switch to that. And then there's RAG, which is basically just 50 ATS best practice documents, and then agent, which has 4 different tools. And monitoring was through Logfire, which is the reason I'm showing this here is I wanted to just show that nothing is actually stored. So in terms of CV, I do not store any CV at all. So whatever or whoever is using this can use it completely without any issues. Yeah, so okay. So the analysis finally popped up. Took longer than usual, but so 65 to 100. So it shows in yellow, which means it's a moderate match. So the candidate has some relevant skills, but lacks experience and may require skills. So okay, so there's no SAP, there's no BI, there's no Databricks. I'm just gonna see if it was mentioned here. This was the CV that I used, so okay, that makes sense. That it's not showing up there. Okay. So yeah, these are all the keywords that the agent identified that needs to be added. So data scientist section with data visualization. This is cover letter, stuff like that. Oh, the other thing that I learned was like, since I was only focused on the US, I didn't realize this until later, but there's cover letter languages. So if anybody is using a different language, you can choose this 7 languages, one of those, and the cover letter will be generated based on those. I'll go back to my architecture real quick here. Okay. So right now the agent is performing, from the 50 responses I had, 42 of them were good. These were just manually generated cases. So I'm just gonna show you the different edge cases. So there was strong matches, there's tech roles, and then there was varied gap in employments, no degrees. There's also out of scope questions like, okay, what's the weather? What are the recipes, stuff like that. So the agent was trained on all this 5 different types of evaluation questions, and this is how it performed. So the version 1, there was 60% recall and 30% accuracy, but version 6, which is the current version, that has 88% recall, means it does not, recall is more important here because 88% recall means that it catches all the false positives rather than focusing on the accuracy. So in my use case, I would rather it flag something that is missing rather than it not flag it. So recall for me was more important, which is why accuracy is a little lower, which is fine. And the other thing I wanted to show was how we went about evaluation. So this is just a UI tool. Again, I'm not the UI coder, so thankfully Claude helps me out there. So this were the different evaluation used. So the CV and job description, this was the agent response, then I could label it. And then I also went through evaluation through LLM as judge. So if we go through that, so I didn't document every single change that I made, but this is on Git where, so here I was labeling something as good, but the LLM was labeling as match. So what did I do? I made changes so the score CV and other tools were changed here. So instead of scoring the CV differently, I have a different way of doing it now. Let me show you here. These are the exact tools, the exact way the match score is called. So these are the instructions. So these instructions were changed and all the different improvements are documented in Git, I think. Yes, so 23, 66%. So that's the tool. And there's a make file that you can use if you're not using stuff. Other than that, on env file, we will need a Grok API key and a Logfire token to enable this agent run and stuff. So on this particular run, the total tokens used were 5,804. So if I run out of credits here, then it falls back to Hugging Face. And the last thing that I wanted to show was if we paste like a really long CV, the tool actually summarizes by itself, find the skills itself, because since I'm using a free tier, I don't want to overload my token. So all I did was write a smart regex formula to find out where the skills are and stuff like that. So every time we send a CV, it's under 3,000 tokens. So that way I'm not offloading everything. But I think that's a quick workaround for everything. Oh, there's also tests, which is done through Git flow actions. So if you are in GitHub, like there's 3 different tests that I'm testing for right now with every code push. And those are just pull call order. So it should first get the job requirements before it starts scoring the CV. So that, and then it goes to an LLM as judge, and then it checks for it was an out of scope question and the agent still answered, because I don't want to use my credits if it's a weather question or stuff like that. But that's the general idea. And right now, I think you can only do 3 analysis per user, but you can just reload or open it in a new browser, and just so that I'm staying within my token limits. But I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Amar. Amazing presentation. Do we have any questions for Amar?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Yeah.
I have all the questions. I want to say that it really shows that you're a data scientist because I think all data scientists love Streamlit because we're not very good at creating UI, so we just use Streamlit just to get our
Honestly, I'll actually don't agree
yeah.
to that. I was a graphic designer, so I love making UIs and stuff like that. But the thing is, it takes me 3 hours to do it, and it takes Claude 3 seconds to do it. So I'd rather have Claude do it than me. I was a
Uh,
graphic designer, so but I am an exception maybe. But I do get like Streamlit is good.
yeah, I use Streamlit all the time because it's just so much like it's just
Yeah,
straightforward, right?
yeah.
Um, my question is actually I would like to use your tool, so I want to ask. Um, Your is it okay if you share your screen again and show me the tools that you gave your agent?
Yeah.
Because you went by pretty fast.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Here. The These are the 4 different tools.
Yeah. So extract, score. Okay. So my question is,
Mhm.
so you have an agent and when you have an agent, he or she is autonomous, right? So like the agent can choose any one of these tools.
Mhm.
So my question is, what makes you choose an agent rather than having a more deterministic, linear workflow? For example, um, what if you make a call to an LLM just to extract the job requirements?
Mhm.
Or in this way, you're using regex, right? So that you
Correct.
can do that with regex, and then the evaluation part would be scoring the CV, right? So like you would make a call to um, an LLM for that and have the
Mhm.
LLM suggest improvements.
Mhm.
So my question is like, really, could you make this more simpler by taking parts of the tools and kind of like writing a script for that and then only make an API call to an LLM when you need some sort of judgment or um, asset to generate a cover letter?
Okay. I think I might have like misexplained my thing. So like the when I say regex, it takes so the regex is done before even sending it to so the extract job requirements, that's also an LLM call to make sure like all the requirements and so the job requirements also goes to an LLM, but I don't want to send LLM the whole document. Basically, if it's like a 2 or 3 page CV, I don't want to send that to the LLM. So what I do is like I use regex before sending it to an LLM to make sure I only send the correct parts. I don't like it still goes through an LLM. So, and like you said, like this whole thing could be done as an API, 100%. The only thing I did as an agent, and the only reason I'm using it at tools, because I wanted to see like, so there's a parameter in this models that I'm using for so generate cover letter. There's a parameter on the model called temperature, which I'm setting as 1 for generate cover letter because that makes it more creative. So for extract job requirements, score CV, the temperature is set to 0. And so suggest improvements is also 0. When I do an API, I could probably do that, but like what I wanted to do was like I wanted to practice running an agent, first of all, because I was doing an agenting Zoom camp. The other thing, like in evaluation, I can see what exactly token users are going through and how much I'm burning tokens based on suggest improvements and cover letter. But other than that, like yes, it's pretty linear workflow. Like it's not different. Originally, when I started out the project, I also wanted to give out basically a resume as well, but there's so many different formats of a resume that I had to scrape that, which is why the agent workflow still stayed. Because like ideally it would be generating cover letter or it would also be generating like so the user could choose if I wanted to just generate a resume or the user could just choose like how good is my resume, but I scraped those because there's just too many different ways. So like even my resume for an IT job or a business job will look different even in the States. So like if people from different countries are using this, then that would be just completely different. So that's why I had to scrape that. But yes, essentially I could just make it into an API and call all the tools in sequentially.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Do you have plans of improving it? Like, I would like to use it, so I would love to
Yeah.
test it.
The first, you can actually test it right now. And like I said, I do not store anything. This is my log as of right now. Like I have no logs of what any personal information or anything like that. So that does make it hard to improve it as well, because I do not know like, okay, so the only thing right now that tells me if it is good or bad is yes, helpful or not helpful. So I am trying. My next step would first thing I want to do is like, because I was looking at I think Miki's project and she has a very good retrieval evaluation. Right now, I do not have a very good retrieval evaluation. So since this is 50 ATS concepts, it's not a big deal. But like if it's a bigger actual domain specific tool, I need to give like a proper retrieval evaluation. And then maybe I'll store some of the logs just so that I can improve it. But yes, you can test it right now. I can leave the link here in Zoom, or I don't know
I
how to
already
do this.
shared the link to GitHub and to Streamlit.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you can do that. And then yeah, it's free to try out right now. If you run out of credits, then just wait another day, because I think right now I can probably get 10, 12 users out of 10, 12 users in a single day, but like it resets every day, so I'm not paying anything for it. So yeah, feel free.
Yeah, really great job.
Okay, thanks, Samar. Yeah, we don't unfortunately have a lot of time, so we have to move on. So I think Leo is here too. So Leo, can you please share your screen and also first do a short presentation, do a short introduction about yourself, and then share your screen too.
Could you see my screen right now?
Not yet?
Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go.
It's yeah.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so so the story is I've been working on a chess tutorial, chess coach. So how's the story? Where should I start? So my first thought was I wanted like a chess coach chat, and I started, I created all the evals and stuff. Oh, I also made a document. Uh, I made a chess coach chat app, and I found it pretty useless. So I started to work like from a user experience perspective, like how would I get it to like actually improve it? So the way it works now is it starts by import the games here, and I press sync full history. It will I give it my name. I extract a bunch of games, and then here's the
Leo,
analysis.
are you? Because I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oh no, I'm
If you
sorry.
want, yeah,
Did it
I
not work?
think.
Sorry.
Can I upload my history from chess.com, or I need to use something like
Yes.
Lichess?
Yes, legit. It was hallucinating. It was gaslighting me that it said, because I kind of vibe coded it. I do understand how it works, partially.
Mhm.
I mean, I do understand how it works, but it started adding a lot of tech debt, so I have to clean it up. I need to polish it a lot before it's on production, but it's really buggy. Like this is the deployed version. I have a lot of cleaning up to do, I'll admit, but
Because I would like to use
uh,
it. I'm on
yeah,
chess.com and my rating
it
is
works with
less than
leeches. I tried
1000.
importing leeches.
I want to improve.
Um, it does work with leeches. But from my experience, it managed to import like 2,700 of my own games. I'm not sure if it will work with chess. I tried on tried to import Magnus Carlsen's games, and it did not import for some reason. I have to look into that because I did a lot of this last minute. So I started out like I want the AI. I want to have the Pydantic AI to analyze these moves, and for some reason, like it wasn't quite right. Um, So what happened is, okay, yeah. What I actually did was I used a Stockfish under the hood, and I started. The thing about Stockfish is that it only gives you the points, right? So to extract this data, I actually, what I asked the LLM to do was to reverse engineer the leeches analyzer when you analyze your old games. So I asked it to download the leeches code base and reverse engineer it so I could create this part. So it's improved a lot over the chess, like just as having a simple chat, right? With maybe some annotations, and that's great. What I realized, while I was coding this, I had a feeling like something fell off, and I asked it, does this use the LLM? Turns out it hard coded it on top of it. So it's like, why did you do that? And
Sorry,
then
Leo. There's a comment, and also I think everyone sees my video here. So if you can just, yeah, like there is a overlay. If you can just remove it, this
oh,
up.
sorry.
Yeah, this thing. Yeah.
uh
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
So where do we put the LLM? So before we had a chat interface. Now where the LLM works is on the start practice button. So yeah, it does need. I think it does parse through all the 2000 games, so it's gonna take some time. I need to work on some optimizations for that, and there's also a progress and the other optimization I need to make. So let's say in ChatGPT you can click it off, but if I click off now, I can't show. It will have to restart. So that's another thing in the front end I have to work on. But it will prepare. It will prepare positions, and yeah, I have another, yeah. So this is what it would look like. Uh, it just gives. This is the part that was actually generated by the LLM. So I could try again. Yeah, there. Um, So that's good. It's the user experience I think is on point. I think the implementation I have to fix that. And here's if you have any questions on how it was implemented, I also made a HTML document. And is it I even asked it to prepare a video. I hope of it running through, and it's been prepared just in time. Let's hope it yeah. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Maybe you can show the video.
Oh yeah, sure. Here's the video. I can share it if you want.
And also, like when it's ready to test, I would love, because yeah, now when I'm close to 1000, I tend to lose quite a lot because people there, I'm using chess.com, people there, like, yeah, it's hard for me to pass this threshold, so I need a coaching up.
Yeah. So yeah, I did add a quality monitoring page that's not on the, like, more of an admin thing, but it's like a
Hmm
secret page. So
hmm
yeah, happy to
Maybe
take.
what you can do is you can share the GitHub link if it's
Yeah,
public,
it
and
is
then
public.
those who are interested can check it.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech dev. I kind of rushed it. I'm sorry. But
It's fine.
yeah, because it was I was asking if there is actually some old LLM code for the original chat that it didn't remove yet, so I need to fix that. Yeah, but it does use Pydantic, and it does use Logfire for more monitoring. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Does anyone have any questions? I see that you deployed it on render. I saw it on GitHub repo, so I
Yeah,
clicked the link, and then it opened. So it means I can actually test it. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
So,
For some reason,
well, I don't. Yeah, sorry.
oh yeah, for some reason, I'm not. The practice button works like 50% of the time on the render, the public render version. The
Okay.
import, yeah,
Okay. Well, when you fix the chess.com importer would be nice because I don't use chess.
I
Uh,
see.
yeah, would be nice to actually have it. Okay. Does anyone have questions to Leo? Thanks, Leo. Great job. Okay, if not, then Pauline, I saw you here, so maybe you can tell us a few words about yourself and also share the demo with us.
I can. At least
Hi,
it should be
long
working.
time no
Hello.
see.
There is also a video. If I look angry, it's because it's very warm and sunny. I'm not actually angry. Yeah, so Pauline, I'm Dutch, live in the Netherlands in the middle of the heat wave now. I have been working with the AI and its predecessors under different names for around 20 years, but always from the mathematics modeling side. That's also my academic background. So I took this opportunity to actually, instead of working on the models, work with the models, which is another way that I didn't used to do a lot. So I did a project that I did not do alone. I did it together with a colleague who unfortunately couldn't be here, but it's a fully joint project. So if you like it, give her equal credit. If you hate it, give her equal blame. And our idea was we do a lot of on-premise AI systems for customers. That's kind of our company's, one of the products that we do, the services. And we get a lot of questions like, oh, RAG is fine, but we kind of want to use more data than just the content. We want to be able to use only the most recent document or only the documents written by person called X or anything you can imagine. Or we want to pre-filter based on certain characteristics. So we decided to take this opportunity to build the first small version of a preparation agent that creates metadata for using in RAG later. So now I going to share my screen. Can I share my whole screen? Yeah, I think so. It should work. Hopefully works well. But this is not the interesting part. Here we go. So this is the GitHub link. I can put it in the chat later if you want. As I say, this is a documentation agent, preparation agent for using in RAG later. We do have other types of documents that we are interested in, but they belong to the customer. So obviously there is no way we would ever share that. So we took archive papers, some manuals of different things that are fully public, and some documents from the European Union, think laws and the decisions and things like that. Just to have some variety, but it should all, in principle, extend and generalize. And the same, like we want to support also images, Word documents, maybe PowerPoints, but for now we focused on PDFs just to get the idea down. This tells you a little bit about the structure. I mean, no need for me to read it. You can all read. There are multiple ways to run the pipeline. We did not implement a UI. I am also, as other people said, really not a UI person. So this runs in CLI, but yeah, in theory, a UI would be nice, of course, because then you could also visualize the metadata nicer than just by producing a JSON. But anyway, we didn't do that for now. If you want to run it on a small sample, there's an option. You can use it with and without embeddings. This is basically a speed thing. The first option is to run it fully deterministic with a pipeline, but the other ones generate some parts of it via an OpenAI call. So this is optional. So this gives you also, in case you are offline or whatever. And you can use it for more. As I say, the use LLM for some parts of the metadata is optional. So it does produce a lot better results, as I will show later. But both options are there. The monitoring is just to for us to see if all the tools, all the different steps are followed. We don't have any more in it at the moment, but that was the goal of it. There are a lot of tests. Yeah, I think those are the interesting part. I will go over the evaluation that we did later. And we have here a section with things that we know that we didn't do that should be done. For example, we work in a fully multinational company, which is mostly Japanese and in Europe, mostly German. But we did everything in English. Also, that it's nicer for a demo. It's easy for both of us to read, as I'm not a German speaker. There are a few things that could just be improved in terms of quality. And pseudonymization or removing personal information is something we also want to do. Yeah, that's it. And if you want to use your own data, you can clone the repo, put your own stuff, PDFs, in the data folder, and it will run as we have now. Yeah, I think those are the main parts. This is the same README you already saw in a different format. Here you can see, I will not go over all the code, don't worry, but that the agent does not really gets a decision on what to call, because it's like, you want a last edited date always. So there's no need to have an LLM decide whether you want it or not. So yeah, why waste an LLM call on that? But on keyword extraction, it is a lot better quality if an LLM does it. So there we do call an LLM, or at least that is the option we recommend people to use. So this calls the how to say, the tools in order. So the tools are not random. Then here is, this looks very familiar, maybe probably not the paper itself, but the format, right? We've all seen this many times before. Archive paper, this is just one of the documents that we used. And if you go over it, run the pipeline, you will see here in the folder called manifests, what's in the name. This is what is being produced in the end. So some information just about the file, but then you go into a standard JSON format. The format is obviously the same for all documents you would run it through. And this is the output. So it detects author, it detects place where it was written, and it also produces chunks that you can then later use. And it numbers them. I will not pass over them, but the most interesting parts are usually the summary and the keywords. Now, how well does it do this? No, this is the wrong part here. This is where I want to... sorry, this is where I wanted to go. we were wondering how it did. So for a selection of the data, we manually created these JSONs in the format I just showed, but then created by hand, just looking at the document and so on. They can be found here, and we use that to do a few improvement rounds. So first is the baseline. It can show you a little bit how well it does, and especially on the keyword, performance, we were definitely not very happy. But this was just a first deterministic script to do it. And that, well, document type is like, is it a manual, is it a paper, or is it an EU regulation? So that should be relatively easy for an LLM to figure out, I guess. But other things were quite bad, I would say, if I'm being blunt. Then the first thing we did is rewrite the script that made the keyword extraction, just writing it better in the deterministic version. So instead of keywords being single words, you could have phrases like, I don't know, now I need to think of a phrase, but phrases of 2 or 3 words that together mean one concept, if that makes sense. So that is what we changed first, and you can see that it already improved. Can you see it already now? Not yet. I think it is. I think I showed you in the wrong order. This is the one without the LLM call, because we first want to change to see, okay, is the problem in our deterministic script, or what do we really need? So we had a 33% improvement, which is nice, but if your baseline is so low, then 33% does not get you anywhere good. So then in the end, and sorry, I showed you the wrong one in the beginning. This is the one where he said, okay, now use the LLM for more options than before. And it improves quite a bit. So that's also why we recommend it in the README that I started with. If you want good quality, use a model. If you don't have resources available, or whatever reason you don't want to spend tokens, then you can use some more deterministic parts. There are, of course, many things you can improve. As I say, we haven't even looked at different languages yet, but that's definitely something that should be done if you work in international companies. But this was our starting point, and yeah, I think this was what I wanted to share.
It's really nice. And I think Salma had a question about evaluation, but Pauline
Okay.
already answered that, right?
What is the
So
question? Let me open the chat.
about evaluation, but you showed evaluation.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so the evaluation was done on, I think it's around 18 or so documents that we chose. Yeah. And as I say, it's just as much Elena as it is myself. So I do really want to make that very clear. It's not just me.
Do we have any other questions from Elena and Pauline? I already shared, by the way, I shared the link in chat to the project. So if anyone is interested, you can check it out. Was there a project about OCR? Maybe it was something else. Okay. So your plan, you want to use it at work, right? As a first step to some other process, right?
Yes, this is the plan, to eventually make it more, how to say, it needs to be more generic then, because we have practically no customers that use English only. So there needs to be more work, but that is in the end the goal, so that we can use it in the systems that we sell.
And how similar are the documents to what you did here in this project? Because Archive is quite structured, right?
Archive is very structured. The EU regulations were not chosen randomly because we do have government organizations.
Okay.
So so laws and so on, I think, would be manuals as well are often used, or research reports, but there could also be completely random files in there. So yes, they
Okay.
are representative, but we did choose relatively easy ones. Yes.
Okay.
And a narrow selection.
Okay, so we're taking a bit more time than we planned initially, but I see that we don't have Hannah, you're here, right? So Hannah, would you like to also present your project? We don't have a lot of time, so maybe if you can make it a bit shorter, like focused on things. I still really wanna see what you prepared, Hannah. So yeah, please introduce yourself, and um, I'm really interested in seeing what you did.
Hello, everyone. I
Hi,
can share the video. I don't know why. Okay,
it's fine.
I start. Okay. Um, Hello, I am a statistical engineer and also PhD student. I've built the research radar. I will share my screen right now. Just a second. I have something with the permission.
Maybe you're on Mac and you need to uh, maybe you'll need to have to stop to rejoin the Zoom call.
Okay.
So we'll have Hannah back soon. I also saw Lars here. Lars, did you also want to present, or are you still here? Yeah, maybe Lars already left. Because I don't know, Lars was also one of the course participants, and then he didn't say if he was going to present or not. Oh, Hannah, you're back. Hi.
Still having a problem with the zero. Yes, that's not. Okay. This is my research radar. It's about the idea comes from reading a lot of papers every day for a PhD student and get updated with the research direction that you're currently doing. So the idea is building a research assistant that fetches RVX papers every morning, like 100 papers or 15 papers every morning. And based on the history of papers that you read, he sends me an email. He sends an email, and you got the best ranked papers. Okay, let's show you running. First, I've built a ground truth papers, which contains the RVX ID, the title, the abstract, and a rating based on my research direction and why I care about these papers. So the research radar is right now will fetch 100 RVX paper. Let's run it. And the fetch will be based on two stages. The first stage is I'll build a pipeline that explains more. Yes. Okay. It will take positive rates paper based on our profile. There is a transformer that looks the rate positive rate papers and builds on my interest profile for the stage 1 semantic search with question similarity, and I have the author boost also for the best authors. And then we'll have 10 papers, which will be fed to the LLM ranking, and we will have the relevance score. The reason why it shows it takes this paper and the keywords related to this research direction, and a relative score at the final. Okay, when I've run this pipeline, like we see here, we have.
Are you showing? So right now we see GitHub. Are you showing something else?
Oh yeah, I'm showing the visuals. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So probably you're only sharing the.
Okay. Okay, right now I think it's okay.
Yes.
Sorry for the time. Okay, it takes the LLM have the email on because it has sounds already animated for me. We have these categories that I care about, the keywords that I care about, that's like vision language models, multi-models, VLM, AI agent, and the profile is built based on this ground truth. We have manually 26 papers added at the CSV. For the stage 1 has semantic filter, tracking 15 papers. Then we have the stage 2 rank top 10 items via LLM context and judgment. And the top 5 papers was sent at my email. I can show you email. Yeah. Now I got an email with Mr. Schrader, which is here. And
You used resend, right? Do I understand correctly? Like for sending emails.
yes.
Was it easy to set up?
Yes, it was easy by using cloud and yeah, it was And this is the image that I've got with the scores and also a rate where I can select rate and it will update the CSV with the rates. That's the good point of the system, that it will get smarter when I updated it with my current rates. Like, for example, this paper looks for me, it looks 4 stars. So just a second, I should run the UV at the terminal. Yes, I have an antivirus that blocks the UV, but this is the antivirus that blocks the UV, that's why. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you look at my screen right now. So I will read again the papers of, to say what happened with the background. For example, for this one that this.
We believe that it works.
Sorry, but I have this antivirus that I'm not clicking at it, so it blocks the server. But yes,
It
I can
happens.
try.
It's demos. Yeah, I'm just curious. What was the most difficult part for this project? This project looks really amazing. Like, and I like this end-to-end setup with it actually sending you the emails, and then you can rate this directly from email, and then the system would learn from that. This is really cool. Like, I'm just curious, what was the most difficult part in this project?
It was how I will make this the system more smarter at the end, and the testings of the agents, the ranking agent, the monitoring also, and also doing the LLM judge part, yeah,
Okay,
to
the
be
evaluation
sure
part.
that I got more better scores at the end, at every time, every morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, Hannah. Do we have any questions for Hannah? Yeah, I think we have a question. Let me read it. What are the tools you needed to create this end-to-end project? I suppose you use Claude. What else did you use?
Yes, it's on the cloud. Yeah.
Okay. Did you use something like Logfire for monitoring?
Yeah, I have this Logfire um
Yeah, so it wasn't only
data.
Claude, right? But
Yeah,
Claude helped you with implementation, I assume.
yes. And also I have not shown the dashboard that I got. Mm,
Yeah, if you can, would be interesting to
yeah,
see.
okay. Mm, I'll still show you. Yes. Every time I got this dashboard with the every timestamp of image sound and the recent recommendation, also the average score. Have this rating also over time for must read, very relevant, and save it for later papers, slightly relevant or relevant. And I got this 20 highly relevant papers for the 13 papers rated, and 5 save it later, manually save it later, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, this looks really cool, and I'm pretty sure many people will actually find it pretty useful.
Mm.
And Pauline mentioned that, yeah, she wished she had this when writing her PhD.
Thank you. I
Um,
yes, I appreciate that. It will be useful for PhD students. Yeah.
mhm. So there is a question. I don't know how relevant it is actually for your project, Hannah. So did you have did you need to have guardrails for the project to deduct PII? I don't know to what extent you actually had PII in your data.
Um, Currently, um, I don't really know if I will need it.
Hmm.
Mm,
I think maybe it's more important for a Mars project, right? To with the CVs to like when to capture these things to remove all the PII data. But since MR doesn't capture anything, then it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I amazing projects. I really like all the projects I saw. We took a bit more time than it was planned, and now I have to prepare for another another stream. So, um, Hannah, did I share your link already in this? Yeah, I don't think I did. So maybe you can give us the now share the link in the chat
Okay, I'm
to your
sorry. Okay.
project. And yeah, while Hannah is sharing this, um, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, for seeing the demos, and I want to thank everyone who actually presented this today. So for me, this cohort was amazing. So thanks a lot for everyone for joining me during this cohort and building these cool things and presenting these cool things. So thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for presenting, and thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, we will have another cohort that will start at the end of September, I think. So if anyone is interested, feel free to join.
Thank you.
So the link is, yeah, I'll share the link. Maybe I'll share my screen right now. So I kind of have to go now, but I'll do this real quick. So you go to Maven, my name, and then this course. So this is the course, AI Engineering Buildcamp. So I'll share the link here in the live chat. But also, I assume you signed up for this call through Maven, so Maven will send you a link to this course. Okay, thanks everyone. Again, I hope you survive this heat wave. I'm right now in an air-conditioned room, so I'm fine, and I hope this heat wave goes away soon. So I wish everyone a great rest of the week, and
See you, Alexei.
enjoy the
Thank you so
summer.
much.
Yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.